Hello. I hope all you guys are doing well today. And I have two young guys that I just wanted to highlight on and ask you guys, do you think that these guys are faking or do you think they're really insane? I give my opinion at the end. But the first one, it's a Florida man accused of double murder, wheeled into court screaming God, shouts at judge before bond denied. Now, his first appearance in court of a man accused of fatally shooting two people at an apartment complex in Florida went off the rails as the defendant began screaming for higher power as he was wheeled in and then began shouting at the judge. Damon Kemp, 19, was brought into court screaming while screaming God for his appearance in Daytona Beach, even as staff warned him to be quiet. And then, the judge told him that he reviewed his arrest and determined there was proper cause for his arrest. And that's when the guy just went crazy. I mean, he came in the courtroom screaming and just acting absurd. And during the hearing, Kemp's eyes could be seen darting around as he made odd facial expression before ultimately being denied bond. Kemp was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder for the shooting deaths of Trey Ingram and Jordan Payton, who were both his roommates. Police said that Ingram and Payton let Kemp stay with them at their Daytona Beach apartment and were trying to help him. As bailiff wheeled Kemp out, Ingram's relatives couldn't hold back their anger and began shouting. I'm just reading what was said. Would you do that to Trey? I'm assuming that the nickname of one of the boys' name is Day or something. But anyway, one of the relatives yelled out and asked him, why did he do it, And his mother was just pleading, telling him how she fed him. She let him live in the house rent-free. And, she just wanted to know, why would he do that to her son? She just wanted to know, what did he do wrong for him to kill his 2 roommates? Even the young man who committed this crime, or they say committed this crime, all of them only 19 years old. All of them are just babies. And I just cannot understand. I can't understand. This young man, they let him live in the house with them, feed him, just to try to help him. And this is what he do. So let me go to the next story and I'll sum it all up. Okay, this next one happened in Aiken, South Carolina. And this guy's name is Joshua Jones. He pleads guilty to the murder of an Aiken officer. Okay. A North Augusta man pled guilty Monday to murdering an Aiken public safety officer in 2012. Joshua Jones was sentenced to life without parole for the shooting death of Corporal Sandra Rogers. Jones pled guilty but mentally ill to murder, possession of a weapon during a violent crime, unlawful carrying of a pistol, and petty larceny. He will be sentenced to maximum security prison within a mental health facility. His psychologist diagnosed him with schizophrenia as a result of a self-inflicted gun wound to the head. That incident happened 6 months before Jones killed Rogers. Jones is also charged with murder in the shooting death of his pregnant girlfriend, Casey Vice. Deputies said Jones killed Vice in Richmond County and then killed Rogers in Aiken County. So this young guy, I don't see his age or whatever, but anyway, his girlfriend, she was pregnant. And I don't know what they happened to have gotten into it about, but either way it goes. Now, his girlfriend was 21 years old, and he, I guess, was charged with criminal domestic violence. I don't know if she called the cops, and that's how all this stuff right here got started. But he had a pregnant girlfriend. Then I mean, I don't get it. You know, they're just going to send him to a mental health facility. And both of these young guys knew what they were doing. In each case, they also had people that was helping them. So for you to deliberately just kill these people for no reason at all, I don't think that they should put them in mental health. They only acting this way because they are guilty, and you want the public to see you acting a fool so you can go and be in a mental facility when ain't nothing wrong with you. But I pray that God have mercy on their souls. We're not the one to judge, but just watch who you think your friends are. Watch who you think you are helping, because they can be the one that takes you out. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good one, and stay tuned for the video.
News 6's Jerry Askin is following the bizarre developments. Jerry, haven't seen anything like this in a while.
Eric, yes, bizarre for sure. And I'll tell you, his reaction to his charges and to his bond status, some say, was pretty dramatic. Tonight, Damon Kemp is sitting behind bars in Volusia County on no bond. In court today, we saw tears all the way around from friends and family involved.
There is no answer as to why or how.
Narissa Carter had a front row seat today in court, grieving days after her 19-year-old son, Trey Ingram, was murdered. It got so tough at one point she had to walk out. And like any mother who's forced to grieve, it hurts.
Dads and moms need to hug their children. Because you might get a phone call like we did and you don't get a chance to hear their voice anymore.
Meantime, back inside the courtroom, we watched as Damon Kemp was wheeled inside, screaming and calling on a higher power.
God! God! God!
His facial expressions and his mood seemed off as a judge read his charges and his fate.
I do believe that there is probable cause for the arrest.
Kemp's family and friends in court today shed tears, all as Trey's family got pretty vocal, even having to be escorted out. Deputies say Kemp was arrested Thursday after he was tied to an armed home invasion. Then deputies say they learned he murdered Trey Ingram and Trey's friend Jordan Payton. Trey's family say he was an up-and-coming boxer working to get back in school at BCU. He was helping the suspect get back on his feet by letting him stay with him rent-free, being the giver that Trey's mom said he's always been. Family told us the victims and the suspect all lived together, and now it hurts.
Tomorrow's never promised.
That indeed. I tell you, deputies haven't yet released the motive behind the shooting, but right now, as Kemp is sitting behind bars, two families are planning funerals. Just a very sad story, Eric.
Sad for sure. Jerry Askin, we'll see you again tonight at 11. Thank you.
Jones, if you stand right here before me, please. Court on record today, January the 30th, 2012. Mr. Jones, I'm here to set your bond this morning. I don't know anything about your individual case. If you do not understand the law that you're charged under, I'll be glad to explain the law to you. You have a charge of possession of a weapon during a violent crime and also a charge of murder. You have the right to have an attorney present with you when you go into court. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, I will be glad to screen you to see if you qualify. That will be based upon your income, and then that will be applied to federal guidelines. You have a next appearance date scheduled for March the 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning at the courthouse at 109 Park Avenue, with a second hearing date scheduled for June the 1st, 1:30 in the afternoon at the same courthouse, 109 Park Avenue. You also have a right to what is called a preliminary hearing. What happens in that hearing, the state is prosecuting you. They have to come in and give sworn testimony before the judge to establish probable cause. What was your intent, your knowledge, your involvement? Did you violate the laws of the state that you've been charged under? If they cannot establish probable cause, then your charges can be dismissed at this hearing, but you can be directly indicted if there's enough evidence to take before a grand jury. This is the form to request that hearing. You will need to turn this in to your attorney or give it to the solicitor on your next appearance date of March the 9th. If you fail to turn it in to one of the parties, then that means you have possibly waived your right to have this hearing. Do you understand the charge of possession of a weapon during a violent crime?
Yeah.
On that charge, if you're found guilty, it can carry a sentence of up to 5 years and/or a fine in the discretion of the court. Do you understand the charge of murder? Do you understand the law pertaining to murder?
Yeah.
That can carry up to life imprisonment or the possibility of death, according to the law. On these charges, Mr. Jones, do you wish for me to screen you for a court-appointed attorney? Do you have the income to hire an attorney on your own?
Does it look like it?
I don't know, sir. I don't have any idea. I just ask that you answer my questions. Are you currently employed?
No.
Do you want me to screen you for an attorney?
No.
You gonna hire your own?
I don't need one.
Mr. Jones, I never advise anyone to go into court regardless of the charge without an attorney. Do you want to be screened for an attorney?
I don't care.
Mr. Jones. You state at this time you are currently unemployed. I am going to pre-qualify you for a court-appointed attorney. Someone from the Mr. Jones, someone from the Public Defender's Office will come over and speak with you about your case. Now, on the charges of possession of a weapon during a violent crime, here's a copy of all your rights that I've gone over with you. If the charge is brought against you, if you're found not guilty, or if the charges are dismissed or null pros, then these can be expunged from your record, which means they can be erased from your record just like it never existed. Also, if you fail to appear at any of your court hearings, additional charges can be brought against you. Is your mailing address 324 Human Street in Batesburg? Mr. Jones, this is your paperwork with your next appearance dates on it. It also tells you that I have pre-qualified you for a court-appointed attorney. I need you to sign that on the bottom line for me, and I will give you a copy of it. Ann?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to request that the defendant be ordered not to have any contact with the victim's family, please.
Okay. Anyone else like to make a statement? Okay. Mr. Jones, there is going to be a condition that you're not to have any contact with the family of the alleged victim. Do not call, email, text message, no type of electronic communications. Don't have any of your friends call them and try and harass them in any way, because you will have to answer to the court if you do. On the charge of murder, because it does carry life or death imprisonment, then I am not allowed to set a bond on that. You have to go before a circuit court judge to have a bond set. I have given you your rights on that charge. On the possession of the weapon during a violent crime, I'm going ahead and setting your bond at $10,000 on that charge. Understand you cannot be released until you go before a circuit court judge to have your bond set on the murder charge, and you also have a hold on you for another county, so even after that bond is set, the possibility is that you will not be able to bond out. I need you to initial on the front stating you understand your first appearance date for me.
You gonna initial right here?
And sign the back across from your mailing address.
Right here.
Mr. Jones, do you have any questions pertaining to anything that I have told you thus far? Okay. All right, so.
All right. Step to your left.